afternoon. Today's topic is going to be about this. I don't sponsor these people. They're not sponsoring me. When I go to the grocery store, I'll look in their little, I'm a typical housewife that they want to advertise for, but I'll look on the little aisle and see if there's any magazines that I want to, get. Sometimes I buy those Home and Tasty ones. They're the smaller books, because they sometimes have recipes in them, and I have a really picky daughter. I mean, she doesn't like yellow onion, which when you cook it down, it turns into this sweet, yummy, delicious thing. Or if you make it nice and burnt and crispy, oh, that's even better. But, I've been trying to get her to, try different things. I mean, she doesn't like green pepper or red pepper. And I'm talking about bell peppers when I say that. So she doesn't like any of the colored ones, even though they all taste the same. And I don't usually buy the yellow or the orange, because they are so expensive versus the green ones. Sometimes you can buy the red ones when they're really cheap, usually in early August. Mid-August, that's when they usually are pretty cheap, or somewhere in that range, the late summer when all the, tomatoes and everything are in season. Excuse me. I was dusting, so my nose is kind of stuffy. Anyway, so yeah, back to this. See, I'll just not necessarily soups as the only option. I mean, I'll do dinner. I should have brought some of the other ones over, but I didn't think about it before I put the video out. But anyway, so this is the one that I most recently bought, and it's got all sorts of cool things in it, like this one here. I mean, it's got pretty cool recipes that I want to try with the family. But like I said, I've got a picky daughter. Like this one, I have my youngest daughter and my husband do not like, they don't like anything from the sea. They don't like shrimp. They don't like scallops. They don't like mussels, clams, crab. They don't like any of that stuff. But me and my oldest daughter, we like anything that was swimming in the water. So, I mean, there's just all sorts of recipes in here, and like a ham and lentil stew that looks so good. This is soups, stews, and chilies. I have a pretty general. I mean, I make a pretty good crock pot stew using beef, pork, and I think I did a chicken one recently, but I don't think the kids really liked the chicken one because they said, Mom, it tastes just like the beef except it's got chicken. What did you do wrong? So I'm like, I don't know what I did wrong. So, I've got some figuring out what I want to do. I make this quinoa salad, so I have a bunch of quinoa. I went to Costco and I bought a big bag. I don't remember how much it is, a pound bag or whatever. It doesn't, I mean, I put it in this, once I bought this big pickle jar. I mean, it was a big pickle jar. It had at least 30 large-sized pickles in it, or so. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, this jar is like this wide, and it's like, I'd say 10 to 12 inches tall. It's got a really wide top, so I was like, that's perfect. I'll use that. So when I buy my quinoa, I'll dump it right into there, and then of course because I forget my measurements, so I have this really thick masking tape. It's the 1.5 inch stuff. That works great. So then I put a slab of that on there, and then I write the 2 cups to 1 cup. I do the how much part to how much part it needs for water. Although when I cook quinoa, I don't use water. I use if I have I don't have any out here either. I buy the cartons of stock. I never buy broth, but just because I like stock tastes better. But if I have some of that stuff laying around, I'll use that. And if not, I just use the little tiny bouillon cube. I'll put one in, and then I'll add the water. It just adds a little flavor. I don't really like doing the bouillon cube because it's just a whole bunch of pure sodium. So, but, you know, anyway, so I make this quinoa salad. It's got lemon juice and tomatoes, and it's got black beans and red beans. Anyway, my family doesn't really like it, but I really love it. I mean, I'll make a big batch of it, and then I'll just use that as my my salad for like the day and the next day. I mean, you could eat it hot, or you can just eat it from the fridge cold, and I like it just fridge cold. It has no meat in it. Doesn't really need it. Quinoa is enough protein. You know, you don't need to. But anyway, I've been looking for recipes that, I mean, my kids won't eat that. My youngest daughter won't eat it because it's got tomato in it, and she does not like tomatoes. And neither one of them like beans. So, you know, like on this, I'm restricted from chilies. Me and my husband love chili. You know, I like chili. He likes a lot of soups, and he wants to try a whole bunch of different things. So I kind of jokingly tell my kids, you know, when you guys move out here in a couple years, me and my husband are gonna eat like kings. You know, I just teasing, of course, you know, but yeah, our food options are gonna open up when the kids move out, because I got my oldest, she doesn't like mushrooms. She's way less picky than my other daughter, but she'll eat the mushrooms if I make them, you know, if I buy the mushrooms in the little container and I cut them up and then I saute them. She'll eat them. Not many, but she'll eat them over buying the can of mushrooms. See, to me, I'll eat them either way. I have hay fever allergies, seasonal, springtime. I'm allergic to tree pollen, so mushrooms don't really agree with me, but I still eat them anyway because, well, I like mushrooms. So, but anyway, you know, like I said, I buy all these things, and the main goal is that I'm trying to get my kids to look through here, just flip through and see what they, you know, what kind of things they would like, you know, flip through it and go, oh, Mom, that looks good. Can you make that? And you know what? That would be great. I have yet to have my children, and they're both teenagers, you know, older teenagers. They're not tweens or anything. They're older teenagers. They should know, you know, how to look through a magazine and say, oh, Mom, that looks good. Make that, you know, or whatever. But my oldest, she doesn't want to learn how to cook. She doesn't have an interest in it. And she's going to be going off to college pretty soon. And she has to learn to cook, because I jokingly tell her that, yeah, you're going to be that kid that has her mom cook all of her, like, I'll probably make, I mean, if she makes me cook for her, I'm going to make like a beef stew in my crock pot, because I really should get my measurements for that crock pot on how much it actually holds. But it's a large family size crock pot. And I told her, I said, I am going to make beef stew, and I'm going to portion it into freezer-sized little containers, and I'll give you 5 for each day, and then you come home, you give me all the dirty dishes, and I'll give you 5 new ones. I told her, I said, if that's how I have to feed you, that's how I'm going to feed you. And stew is excellent I can make stew to eat for 15 people if I wanted, for like $10, $15, depending if I've already got a big bag of red potatoes or some onion laying around, and you know. So yeah, anyway, I just figured I'd make a little tiny video about, you know, I buy these little magazines, and then I look through them, I flip through them, and I'll go, this looks good. And then, you know, I'll have my kids, I'll ask them to look through it and hope that they do at some point, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Okay, well, I got to get going. Bye.